Talking Cougar basketball, the head coach of the Lady Cougars, sitting at number 15 in the rankings, held that position in the latest top 25 poll, 10-1 in the conference, and getting ready to run through the slate a second time through. As we talked earlier, it's always a kind of an interesting time. You've already played teams, especially this season, with your first conference game against William Woods was December 5th, and it's going to be even more hype next year with more conference teams. Your conference games are going to be much earlier, but this time you go back through. How do you, or what do you do differently to prepare your ladies for the second time through?
Well, in preparing, we do a good scouting report for our team. But really, as far as watching film on the opponents, we don't watch a lot of film with our team in games that is not against us. The second time through, when you can actually see how they do things against what we do, then as a team, we do watch more film. So you get a little bit more of that to see how they react to different things you do and you to them. So I think that's a difference. I think the main thing is, though, is just within the conference, there's you're so familiar with people. And, with William Woods, who we have coming in here, not having the year in the conference right now that, they've had in the past. I think they're 6-5 at the swing. This is such an important game for them to stay in that race. And, we're going to get their very, very, very best effort coming in here Thursday. So I think that's what you really see that second time through the conference. And then you see teams that may be out of the race, but here's a chance to be a spoiler, or here's a chance to do this or do that. So, the competitiveness is very good.
And again, it gets amped no matter where the seedings are, the rankings, what team has players hurt, not hurt, whatever. When it's Columbia College and William Woods, whether it's on the softball field for Coach Spratt or on the cross-country track, it's always everybody puts their game face on, and it's really a jam-packed gym and an electric atmosphere, and you got a 10-point win at their place back in December, and you can expect probably the same kind of game here at Southwell.
I've been watching the film on that, and a game that actually, for how we were playing first semester, it's some of the best basketball we played before Christmas. Different personnel now, we are doing some different things, but I think one thing there was we made some shots. Aqua Corporation came out in the first half and nailed a couple of threes that really got us going. And, again, that's one of those deals, here's Aqua averaging 6 or 7 a game, but so huge in that ball game. And I think that's one plus that we really have with this team is we have a lot of different people that can step up at different times, and, who's going to be ready tomorrow night to take that step.
Yeah, somebody slacks a little bit or is injured, or the others can come right in and take the load off. And then Harris Stowe comes in, a big win over those guys in St. Louis. That's another one of those teams that toward the bottom of the conference, but you got to be ready. Those are the kind of teams that always seem to really get scrapping against Columbia College.
Harris Stowe has actually played pretty well. They lost by 7 to Freed Hardeman the other day up at Harris Stowe, and they were actually ahead with 3 minutes left in that ball game. And they have won some games here as of late and really playing much better. Coach Griffin does a good job. He's a good buddy of mine, and has a couple of kids on the inside that are very good. His numbers are down, so that's a struggle they have. But there'll be a good ball game coming in here Saturday, so this will be a good week.
I know you don't remember watching the game at Park. You listened to it. Hate to bring that back up, but they're coming in here, and another tough ball club that's always, since they've been back into the AMC conference, have been right there in the mix of the top 4 or 5 teams.
Well, they are a team that's actually 4th in our conference right now. We're 2nd, Lyon is 3rd, Park is 4th, and then we have William Woods at 5th as far as the conference standings. That'll be a good ball game. They play a very fun style of ball, very guard-oriented, very good at the guard spots, athletic, do a lot of trapping. So it gives you a whole different look than some of the teams that we're going to see this week. And I think that's part of the fun of a conference, too, because you see so many different looks from different teams, and what adjustments you make, or can you make them play your style of basketball. So that's great fun, and this second swing through is so different for us because we had 7 road games our first swing through and only 4 home. So the second swing through will be 7 at home and 4 on the road, so that's a great plus, and we look forward to being back here.
I think White Knight buses will forget where Southwell is if not so many.
We've been on them enough this year. Exactly. We've been on them enough.
Well, and we've talked about it, but not just with yourself, but all the coaches really on some of those longer road trips. It gives your team away from home an opportunity to bond in different ways other than the practice here, but a chance to, the players have to obviously concentrate on their studies and get their schoolwork done, but it gives your team an opportunity to gel in other ways when they kind of have to. They're forced into that, where are you going to go to eat, where are you going to stay, all that good thing. It all kind of helps build back on that overall game plan of putting that team together.
Travel is such an interesting aspect with a team because it's an ordeal every time you go in to eat and this and that. We are so fortunate here at Columbia College, and for our boosters or people that don't know the ins and outs, our school takes such fantastic care of all of our athletic teams when we travel. White Knight handles all for women's basketball and men's basketball and most of the other sports. Our travel, and they do a great job taking care of us with great buses. The buses we travel in actually have beds in them for the kids to sleep on the way home from long trips. The internet's there for study. Only study, I'm sure, is all they ever do on the internet.
Nobody's watching YouTube.
Yeah,
It is. No.
but it is a great way for our student athletes to be just that, student athletes. And I think we're very fortunate in how Columbia College supports all of our programs in that way.
As you think back, you mentioned game film watching. I can see in your office you're watching. How long does it take you, or do you find some things if you watch, like how quickly after a game do you watch tape on that game, or is there a habit that you have, a ritual, a timeline of how quickly you go to
Normally the next morning.
The next morning?
Next morning, that's the first thing that we do is put game film in, and I watch game film that morning. And you don't really watch necessarily the whole game, but you'll watch this and you'll rewind it, and you'll watch that and rewind it. And it takes quite a while to do that. So it may take me 2 or 3 days to watch an entire film and going through things and different things. And then you make your notes and jot down things. And
how many times do you take the stat sheet and go, that was really good, and then you watch it on tape and go, well, how did that doesn't match with what I'm watching on the
can
tape.
Be wadded up and thrown away too. That's happened in the office. But I think film does really allow you to see things at a slower pace and back it up and look at it all over again. And I think it's a great way. When I go into the practice court the next day to say, okay, here are some things specifically that we could just see that we didn't do well, or some things that we did do a great job of. And you can't be all negative on it.
Right.
It can't be the glass is half empty all the time. You have to teach with the good things that they're doing as well. And we've been really fortunate here. We have some kids with some really good basketball IQ. They understand the game, and if you explain it to them that way, I think that's a great way for them to learn. Now that doesn't mean you still don't get the foot in places it shouldn't be at times or whatever else. But I think they understand basketball enough that if you explain it that way, they grasp it.
Well, you can physically see it. It's on
Yes.
tape. This is how you made that, adjustment or that move,
Yep.
or you see your elbows dipping or whatever the physical
Yep.
case may be to technically change somebody. Who's a player, we talked about up and down the lineup that you've got so many different interchangeable parts and skill sets. Who's somebody that's just really surprised you? You sit there and kind of go, wow, this person is really, and maybe it's not on that stat sheet, but it's over in general.
This year, I think Corey Hamilton has been someone that I've been very, very pleased with, because she was someone that as a freshman last year really had limited minutes. And especially if you're talking about meaningful minutes that changed a game, did not play a lot, really worked extremely hard last spring and this summer. And she's one of our mainstays right now. She really is. I look at Laurel Wishman, someone who last year, again, meaningful minutes, not that many. This year has been such a huge part of our team. So I think from a coaching standpoint, when you see people that have worked, have improved, and have changed where they are within that team, I think as a coach you always enjoy seeing that. And those are two that really stand out to me.
Before March, what are the top 2 things that this team has to get better at if it's going to continue to win at the pace you're winning?
We really need to get better defensively. That's something without question we need to get better at. And it's kind of amazing offensively. We're averaging 82, 83 points a ball game. No issues at all. But there are times when we go a little stale or dry from the outside, and we've really worked on better half-court offense the last week and a half, and it's something we've spent a lot of time on. And I think during this next month, for us to have success at the national level, it's something that really needs to improve, because teams don't let you run up and down the court at that next level. You have to sit down and guard them, and they're going to guard you, and you have to work for a shot. So I think those are 2 things that are very important to me. I think the last thing is you have to be fortunate and stay healthy. You have to be able to go into that thing, full strength. It's hard when you have this person hurt and that person hurt to be at your best.
And you've had some injuries early on, and you've gotten those players back now, as you mentioned, with Ashley Fisher, and she's coming into her own, and now Heather's starting to kick past her thing, and hope they can kick that boot to the curb, and you get healthy at the right time. Sure. And put everything together, and there's no reason why you can't make a deep run.
Hey, we're looking forward to it, and the practice court is where it starts at 5 o'clock today, right after art class, and we're on the practice court and get rolling.
That's the new hashtag. We're going to see if we can get that trending on Twitter.
Hashtag art class.
Art class on the court for the Cougars. A lot of games in February. If you haven't had a chance to come out, I encourage you to get on the website, find a date. Double headers, 5:30 for the ladies, 7:30 for the men. And Coach Burchard's team at number 6 now in the country as well. So come out, watch some great basketball at home for the Cougars in February. It's going to be a jam-packed month. Online again for the full schedule. ColumbiaCougars.com. As always, Coach, thanks for your time.
Before we close, can I say one thing?
Sure.
There is a very special young lady
Okay.
who is going to be celebrating her 90th birthday
Wow.
this weekend.
Okay.
Rod Kelly's mom.
Oh, wow.
She just goes by Mama Kelly to me.
Mama Kelly, right.
But 90 years old this weekend, so happy birthday, Mama Kelly.
Happy birthday, Mama Kelly, and happy birthday to you if it's your birthday, and go art class. We'll see you at the Southwell Complex. Cougar basketball again on MediaCom Channel 22. Thanks for watching.